Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, blessings everyone. This is 12 Pine Grove News. Oh, hold on, we got some warnings. Welcome, blessings everyone. This is Pine Grove News. Oh, hold on, we got some warnings. All right. That volume for you. All right. Still learning. Yeah. It's 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast. It's been chilly all day. Yeah, I don't remember seeing the sun today. It's yeah, I would say cloudy all day, kind of misty off and on. We're supposed to hit 80, I think, either tomorrow or Wednesday. So, some odd things, in the weather. Yeah, we're going to talk about some weather too. Yeah, we're going to talk about yeah, the supposed. Well, it's not supposed anymore. I guess it is a Hurricane 1 Michael, created down there, just out of the coast. I mean, Gulf Coast. Yeah. And I'm going to talk to you about somebody who may have known about it 4 or 5 days beforehand. I'll give you his website or YouTube channel. Go check that out. A lot of interesting things going on. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you don't take the phone out, you get the phone calls. In any case, so it's only Monday, so excuse me. Yeah, we're going to talk about Hurricane Michael. We're going to talk about Hurricane Sergio and Thunderstorm Leslie and a few other things. We're going to talk about something that happened over the skies of California again. Yeah, again. And we're going to talk about what we all have been ignoring while we were watching the Kavanaugh hearings. Okay. Something that you have not been watching. I told you need to watch. You're going to find that out here too. What has been going on? Everyone's expecting World War III in some other place. Well, it may be going on sooner than you think in another place. But maybe that's what they want from us. More distractions. So now we get this Hurricane Michael that someone predicted 4 or 5 days beforehand. And of course, it's all over the news now. Even Dabu 7, has got news on this. So let's just go to AccuWeather right here. I'll just show you right here. This was probably an hour ago. This Hurricane Sergio. Okay, that's the one that's coming in. It is now. Let's see. Take me out of it. But anyway, this one, according to Dabu 7, is heading up this way, and they usually do turn that way. If they're not up here, they get caught and they go here over to Hawaii. But of course, yeah, everyone's a weather critic now. I mean, I'm, the what do you call it? Alternative weather channels or people. Even me, I claim I can predict better than what they predict in, the mainstream weather. Mainstream weather, MSW. And of course, over there, Hurricane Michael. Cat 1. You'll hear about the predictions of what's going to happen to that one. As this one goes north and then northeast, This one will go north. Who knows what will happen? I mean, really, everyone has a prediction. Look what they did with what was it, Florence, and they're still claiming it was one of the worst hurricanes in hurricane season period history. You know, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. It had flooding. It with tropical storms, even with tropical storms, it will dump huge amounts of water, and you will get flooding. There's nothing historical about it. Well, I guess you could say that the history is that you're going to get a lot of water. And the southern East Coast, man, they always get hammered. We've heard about data that these things, the southern East Coast is sinking. There's got so much water in it that, in any case, it's the Atlantic. Let's go West Pacific. There's nothing in the West Pacific, but India, there's not much there either. Just the remnants, I guess, of typhoon. This one right here, heading towards, I believe this is Yemen. This could be Yemen. Might be the immigrants. What do you call that? I call it the immigrants, but it's obviously something else. Oil-rich, the kings of oil. Okay, so there you have it. That is the, according to AccuWeather. Okay, now they don't stand out in front of, traffic where there's people trying to pretend that he's getting blown away. That was just funny. That was ridiculous. And I've seen that before too. That wasn't the video. I've seen that video before, so I don't know why they played it again. It was not a video of this past hurricane that they were talking about. I've seen that video before. I can't put it where I've seen it, but I have seen it. So there you go. So we'll go on. Oh yeah, and we're going to talk about the weather. We're going to talk about these hurricanes. We're going to talk about, the predictions and so on and so forth. So let's just go right to it. Already, this is what happened in Leslie too. We had states beforehand, before the storm even was a category, was any hurricane. It was still a tropical storm. I think it was Georgia and maybe North or South Carolina had declared states of emergency. I think there was 3 states. The state of emergency declared as Florida now prepares for potentially devastating impact from Michael. At least they say potentially. The last time we heard this, they, prepare for a biblical hurricane of biblical proportions. I'm so tired of hearing that because it was so worn out. I used to listen to somebody like that who still boasts that stuff. Oh yes, it's biblical proportions, apocalyptic. Yes, rein in your boats and throw out the cats and bring in your fishing reels and yeah, you won't need them for this. The fish will come to you. Biblical and apocalyptic. How ridiculous that sounds. Yeah, you'll know. You will know when it's biblical and apocalyptic. Biblical. Biblical. Yeah, they have whirlwind in the Bible, okay? But where biblically does it talk about any of these storms and their strengths besides the whirlwind and God's anger? Okay, his anger is going to be poured out like a whirlwind. Everybody thinks it's going to be a big, huge storm. One big hurricane. Biblical hurricane. I'm sorry, it's, except for the people that are being, flooded out in these things have become a joke. Maybe that's what they're trying to accomplish. And so they've done it through me. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, this is, according to NOAA, okay, the track of the hurricane. And now, so there's you'll see as we go along here, the other predictions have this thing going up here, just like this, going out here, coming back out into the Atlantic into the warmer waters, or they claim the warmer waters. They should be cooling down by now, and then strengthen again. Well, we'll do that right now. Let's go here while they give us that little postie sign. Here we go.
This is Dabu 7. A heads up here in terms of
Dabu
Storm
7.
Michael. This could be Hurricane Michael by the time many people are seeing this video. It's Tropical Storm Michael right now, but they're...
And just so you know, yes, I left this morning. It was still just a tropical storm. As soon as he said that, I went over to flip the refresh, yeah. And it became a hurricane.
Projecting this is about to hit Category 1. It's easily going to hit 2. It may hit Category 3.
Okay, easily hit 2. How does he know? I mean, we can all go to Vanuski or whatever that is. That hurricane tracking chart prediction software. Come on, really? Who actually owns that software? Anybody found out? I'm gonna go find that out. Pictures from Noah or somebody. Anyways.
Before landfall. And I'm not sure what's wrong with the cats over here at RT that have next week in the headline. They have it dated today. It's this week that it's all happening. And they also say next Wednesday. It is this Wednesday. It is within the coming days. This thing is making its way through the Gulf and is going to hit the United States. I'm going to go over to Wendy here in just a second and show you guys the path. But right now, if needed to help, and taking a look here, you can see where the storm system sits.
Now that actually looks like...
And this is on Wednesday. This is the outer bands this Wednesday. Already hitting. This is early Wednesday. Let me back it up a bit to...
All right. Well, I'm sure you guys are all tired of hearing that. I know I am. You know, Mr. BBB333 does it as well, and there are other people that do it. I want to talk about this guy. Let's see. Is he next? Yeah, well, this guy, Thor News, I thank you, Thor News, for putting this out so I can grab it, but I don't recommend going over there unless brought to for a specific reason. I don't know. I subscribe to him and unsubscribe to him. I don't know. I don't want to, point fingers or anything else, but it's just a little. He just seems a little off. I don't know if he's just angry or what's up with him, but he's also the one that supposedly predicted this hurricane 4 or 5 days prior to this. I don't know. I've been looking for it.
With him using the Jedi mind communication device that I taught Bubba. So I'm now here, back.
Oh yes, and I'm just going to give a warning now, okay, for anybody who has children listening to this. This gentleman may swear from time to time, or say other things that you may not want your children to hear. Just want to put that warning out there. I wish I had a little flash button. Warning, warning, warning. See if I can get that. I'm still working on a promo, so I got a long way to go. Here you go.
To tell you that the media at this point, I do not believe is telling you guys how bad this thing will be. Now, I need you to know it is up to you to do your due diligence, look at the data, look at multiple sources, and decide what is best for you, your family, your pets, your friends, and your house, okay? So, I'm going to do my best to tell you where I think it's going and the possibilities are. And I gain nothing by trying to lie or mislead anybody. But it is up to you to decide. Now, I'm in Houston. I've been in other coastal cities, and coastal people have a mindset that like, hey, dude, I've been through a Cat 1 before. I've been through a Cat 2 before. Like, this is 2018. If you haven't been paying attention because you're watching the trial, Mother Nature has been causing tsunamis that wipe out towns, cities. Japan got hit by 9 typhoons. Indonesia, they're still picking up the rubble from the 7.7 earthquake. Yeah, this will be the 5th hurricane hit on the United States in 13 months. So, as your planetary defense commander, I need you to take this seriously, because I need...
Yeah, see, you know, because he talks about some really weird stuff. Planetary commander, defense, whatever, commander. Okay, that's who he is. And he goes way out in a couple subjects, but I don't know how... Well, he claimed earlier in this video, which I kind of skipped past, that he was attacked by some witches or something like that, and that's why that he was a little irritated or angry, so on and so forth. But, you know, he does have a video out there that's before this one, where he went and did some of his weather stuff. And I was just, you know, the only reason I'm showing this is because I've not seen somebody predict a hurricane before, while it's a tropical storm. Probably wasn't even that. It's probably just a rainstorm. And predict the path and the strength, the cat. And we'll see. We'll see. So I guess that's enough on the hurricane situation. We need to talk about this, okay? And while we were all watching the Kavanaugh hearings and other things and worried about other news, Florida Marquis. Now, I've listened to him when those... Do you remember when the military ships, one in particular, crashed into, or a cargo ship from China crashed into this military vessel right in the middle of it? You remember that? Anyways, well, that nothing like I gotta get soundproof doors and windows and walls. Anyways, we're gonna have to set that dog up somewhere else. But anyway, try to continue here without too much interruption. In any case, yeah, she's going around attacking. You know, the bird is out flying around and she barks after it. So if you see me, you know, hear me disappear for like 30 seconds or so, I've gone to put the dog in a bathroom. Keep her quiet. So in any case, while we were watching the Kavanaugh and doing other things, you know, we have heard about the things that have gone on in Venezuela, right? We've heard that there are people there because of the economy or whatever. Something's going on between the upper class and poor people, because, you know, socialism, that's how it works. You have the ruling class and then all the poor people, supposedly. I've also heard other things from Florida Marquis and this other guy that I'm going to play. Things we don't know about. I didn't know about before. But in any case, I'm going to play this. Yeah, he's going to talk about this in the beginning. So let's listen to it. This is the Florida Marquis, and I believe this was his first one. He's got 2 of them out, and one of them is just an update, so it won't be too long for that one. But you've heard about the recent news that America was going to send aid, okay? Aid to Venezuela. Well, Venezuela doesn't want our aid. They don't want it. But apparently, there are ships, and I'll let the Florida Marquis tell you, there are ships out there, okay? Out here, okay? I forgot to turn that on again. Yeah. Anyways, well, we'll get it from this point. We'll miss the weather. I forgot to hit that button again to record over on Screencast-O-Matic. But in any case, we'll continue. Humanitarian aid, what the U.S. wants to send to Venezuela, okay? And Venezuela You know, an oil-rich country, you would think they wouldn't need that. But why are we wanting to send, and why are we hearing stories of, you know, people in long lines waiting for food? Then the military's picking up the food because there's riots going on, and then people can't get, you know, regular paper goods like toilet paper or other stuff for hospitals. The electricity keeps going out. They're having brownouts in hospitals, and people are dying. And people are so hungry they started eating pets and dogs and other things like that. Is that really going on? I mean, I actually thought that that is what was going on. And maybe it is, and maybe it's not. After you hear this video, and I want you to listen to the Florida Maquis in these 3 videos, okay? So you can get a general idea, because you're going to get a small, you know, short, brief history on Venezuela and Colombia, and the people in Colombia who are now supposedly infiltrating our military ranks. And this armada, between the ships that are out in this area and other ships that are off this coast, which have now moved here. Okay? Over 45 ships between the two. Okay? What are they there for? If Venezuela says, no, we don't want your humanitarian aid, then what are the ships coming in for? And what are these ships over here waiting for? So this is what we need to concern ourselves, okay? And everything else. Keep an eye on everything. You can. It's not that hard. So let's go in the beginning.
Any invasion, with the help of the Cubans, the Chinese, and the Russians, they have stood up a very formidable force. I'm not saying it's impenetrable, but a long time ago, I said, almost a year and a half now, that World War III was not going to begin in the Middle East. It was going to begin right here, right in our backyard. Many people did not or were not aware of the critical role the tiny country of Venezuela played in the financial well-being of our country. Now, some have accused this channel of being fear porn. Well, if fear calls you to action, then so be it. But I'm going to reveal something for you today that should send a shiver down anyone's spine. Something that I don't think most of you knew. This, of course, here is a picture of the leader of Colombia, Ivan Duque, one of the most filthy, heinous criminals to ever walk the planet, along with his predecessor, Alvaro Uribe, not direct predecessor, but his benefactor, the guy that got him put into office. Alvaro Uribe, they slaughtered thousands, tens if not hundreds of thousands in Colombia, those who decided they wanted to stand up to big oil and big business and big pharma. And that's really what today's video is going to be about. It's going to be about, if you're going to choose sides, I want you to very clearly know whose side you're on. I want you to have all of the information.
Yeah, and you should know by now, I mean, he was in the military. He told you that during those investigation with the, I don't know if it's the Fitzgerald or whatever it was, the name of it. Maybe that was the one off the Yemen coast that was bombed, but I'm not sure. So, in any case, let's just have him continue.
Because there's a very different line drawn down there than we draw here. For them, big business and the church, the official church, quote unquote, in Italy, is the right wing, is the conservatives. Bolsonaro in Brazil, Duque in Colombia, the criminal Ledesma currently in Puerto Rico. All ally themselves what they call the conservative right wing.
Just pay attention and bear with the history. You're going to need the history. That's it.
Now, the thing that should terrify you is in this article here about Colombia's military emerging as a global player in the U.S.-led alliance. You see, Colombia became part of NATO a few months back, which is very odd since NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and Colombia is in South America. But down here they reveal something I think would interest a lot of Americans. Colombia's military is rapidly becoming a major cog in the United States' wheel of global security strategy as the South Americans become more and more aligned with their U.S. counterparts.
All right, so let's skip a lot of this and just say that Colombia, you know, criminal structures there, just like Hamas is, you know, on, I forget which country, maybe in Jordan, maybe over there in Gaza. They are the majority of the seats, this Hamas, the terrorist group. So it's kind of like that here, only, you know, it's the Colombian militants and very bad people. And they're now also in our military as well. And just remember that we were once very good allies, as this Florida Marquis has already said, with Venezuela, okay? We've given them state-of-the-art, not given them, but sold them state-of-the-art military equipment. And so they're not any third world country when it comes to, not even like Korea. I mean, Korea probably doesn't even have the weapons that Venezuela has. So we need to think about that. You know, and why are we going to go in there? First of all, he doesn't want military aid, so let's not go there. You know, I don't think I should be the only one saying this, that we should not support going into a sovereign country who does not want us there. We need to stop that.
That Colombia is no longer merely a recipient of U.S. help. The relationship has evolved to the point that Colombian soldiers directly embed in the U.S. command structure, helping construct a multinational military force and serve as proxy for U.S. troops worldwide. This is a quote from the Admiral of the Fourth Fleet. Colombia is now a net exporter of security. I believe he's actually the former admiral. He's recently resigned. The U.S. talks about starvation and talks about dictatorships and all of this stuff as the red lines supposedly being drawn as the reason that we are not supporting Venezuela.
Yeah, and supposedly this is what's going on. These are the freaking articles that we've read out there. I even believed it myself, okay? I did. Through articles. I'm not there. I wish, this is why people of the world unite. Please use your phones against them for a change. There's all kinds of apps out there. Periscope, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, everything live. Come and show us what you're going through. Give us proof. I would believe somebody on Periscope rather than a video like this. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean.
They're not trying to help Venezuela, sanctioning them and threatening to invade. It's very interesting how certain dictators are perfectly fine.
One of the worst, besides China, for human rights violation, especially against women. They're the ones that are tearing apart Yemen over there. And we are too. The U.S. is anyway. Not me. And also,
a king is a Muslim country, where this guy right here on the left was quoted as saying that he would never stop within him promoting for the agitation of Sharia law around the world. This guy used to send out his military with whips to make people stand in neater queues.
Invited to the White House.
To line up for the bus.
Yep.
Heavily involved with the drug trade. And this guy in Brazil,
yeah, listen to this,
that everybody thinks is so flippin' fantastic.
He will not accept the election results if he loses. So, I mean, what is that all about? That's like saying, well, you know, Clinton thought she was going to win. You know, they should have won. And, well, because Trump won, well, we're not accepting that. You know, we're going to put ourselves in there anyway. That's kind of what that's going on right there. Jeez.
This right-wing guy, he said that no matter what the result of the election down there is, he's not going to accept it. And here is the quote of his vice president, his candidate for vice president. I cannot speak for the armed forces commanders, but from the support I see in the streets, I will not accept an election result that is not my own victory. Pardon me, that was Bolsonaro himself that said that. And Bolsonaro's running mate, retired General Hamilton Muraro, had said the armed forces should carry out a coup if the country's judiciary cannot end political corruption, meaning that if they don't win.
Yeah, the opposite's kind of going on here, right? You know, Trump is supposedly trying to end political corruption here, and everyone else on the other side is talking about a coup. So, sound familiar? Go over to where these ships are spotted.
Who Uribe was, who might be in charge of Brazil. Understand very clearly that there's going to be a very simple delineator between right and wrong here. I don't know any clearer way to put it.
I just want to mention one more thing before he gets into the location of these ships, is that, you know, as led in we are led in one direction to where they are, the Venezuelan government is, you know, not feeding their people, so on and so forth. Also in this video somewhere, I can't pinpoint it right now, is the fact that this Florida Marquis talks about the government, just like Libya. If you go back to Libya and Gaddafi, okay, before he was killed, he brought some unique technology over there for his people. His people were well taken care of. They had no problems with Gaddafi. Okay, I forget exactly, some kind of water system, some kind of other road. There's a, I don't know, article out there, but you can go research that. It's pretty interesting. I just can't remember about the road right now and the water system. But World Watchman had reminded me about that. And he was, you know, they were just doing very well there. The same with the Venezuelans. According to Florida Marquis, and I have not heard this. Of course, I don't listen to the news. That he listens to everything down this way. Okay, that's what he's good for. You know, other people concentrate in other directions. But anyway, so Venezuelans were taken, according to Florida, pretty darn good care of. They had it made. I mean, most of the citizens, the average citizen, was doing very well because of the oil that we're selling. Their leader was, you know, giving back the money to the people first. That's what they were doing. That's what Libya and Gaddafi was doing. You know. And you'll find out also in one of these videos where Colombia tried to do that, but instead of giving it back to the people, they gave it back to big oil and so on and so forth. And that's why they have problems in Colombia. But let's go try and find that.
It was a long time ago. And those of us who had questions then had to shut our mouths and do what we had to do. I do not envy anybody on active duty today, for any reason. Venezuela has never done one thing to threaten the United States. Not one thing. Never. In fact, for a long time, they were our ally. We worked with them. And if you want to make some half-assed, uninformed assertion about nationalization of assets on behalf of big oil, understand that that company, Citgo, ConocoPhillips, they went before a court asking for 20 billion. And the court, looking at all the facts, gave them 2.
Anyways, let's go to I don't want to do that one yet, but maybe in his update, this one. Let's go talk about this one, I guess, from here.
Now, as I'd mentioned, Senator Bob Corker from Tennessee. I'm sure a lot of you remember him because he was the gentleman that secured the release down in Venezuela. The Eastern Attack Fleet has broken formation and has moved to nearly point-blank range off the northern coast of Suriname and Guyana.
Used to be out here.
You can see that right here. They were way out to sea, and with the announcement of Senator Bob Corker heading to Venezuela, I think the movement of this fleet should come as no surprise. Now, just to give everyone a shot of what it used to look like, we're going to go ahead and maximize this screen out here. This is my video from 2 days ago. You can see the fleet out here in a very tight formation, 1,000 miles or more off of Caracas, and now, just in a matter of 2 days, we've seen them move from these 2 tight groupings over here to what we showed just a little bit ago. Now they're here. Of course, this fleet has maintained position. I am sure that they are probably just a security force at this point, that they're going to use the classic pincers move. They're going to come in from the west in Colombia and then come in through Suriname and Guyana. And then, of course, this fleet will probably disperse here and create a security zone that will allow Puerto Rican / U.S. globalist forces to move directly into Caracas without any interference.
Now, I want to stop this here because I'm looking for the first video that he put out there when he actually went with the software that he's got, and I have it somewhere too, where it tracks the ships, you know, and their corresponders and all their names, and he went, and in this video he brought up all the ships that were all around here, and then he slowly deleted like the barges and other ones, trawlers and stuff like that. And then he came to, this fleet, which was not recognized with any markings, no transponders, nothing on them. And he explained in that video how it could be military. I mean, he even states that, it may not even be U.S. coalition forces. It could even be China-Russian forces, waiting to defend Venezuela. Okay, and this fleet, like he said just a minute ago, was over here 2 days prior to this video, and now they're here. So until I can find that other video, listen to this one.
Now, as I mentioned, Senator Bob Corker from Tennessee. I'm sure a lot of you remember him because he was the gentleman that secured the release of CIA I'm sorry, I keep screwing that up. LDS missionary, Josh Holt. He was being held down there for spying for the United States, and right around the time of the last election, Senator Bob Corker, who was not seeking re-election, went down there and negotiated his release. And of course, as you can see here on the right, after his harrowing ordeal of starvation, that he is just skin and bones and can barely stand on his own, unable to walk, because that's the story out of Venezuela. Everyone is starving. No one has any food. This is him just a couple of days later on an interview in Fox News. Here is, of course, Mr. Holt prior to his leaving for his CIA LDS missionary work. I gotta get that right. Darn it. And of course, here's him secured in the facilities in Venezuela.
All right, so I want to just basically give you the history of little history, and that pretty short history go listen to these videos from the Florida Marquis, and there's one other guy here, Don't Speak, okay, I gotta subscribe to him, who also gives us some history and also mentions Florida Marquis. So you have two sources here, you know, talking about the same thing, and it's been talked about before. It's been echoed, you know, it's out there that, you know, we may be going into Venezuela for those very reasons, you know, reasons that are made up, you know, like weapons of mass destruction and all this other stuff, or, you know, gas attacks, and, you know, from the Syrian leader to their peasants, which never happened. It was actually done in another way. You know that by secret undercover audio that was leaked out. Mr. Kerry admitting to that. And so we need to keep our eyes on here, folks, and pray for our military men that they make the right decisions. You know, things are just going to be strange. You know, between what's going on in our you know, with our leaders, I can't even remember the name of the word right now, politicians, you know, the liars, the cheaters, the robbers, you know, and them being, well, at least being sacrificed for the better good, or whatever, the draining of the swamp, whatever you want to call it. So go read, you know, listen to those. They're short ones, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Another one's 6 minutes. Anyway, yeah. In the meantime, we're getting bombarded with stuff like this. You know, Ukraine has been in the news quite a bit too, about a possible flare-up, if not all-out war. And then I get this one today from RT. Belarus to arm every man, woman, and elderly in case of war. Okay, so they're doing that. And down here, you know, we get a little preview of some old granny getting her gun. You know, because they said they're going to fight to the last man, woman, and child. But they're not going to give you know, the weapons to the children. Who's going to find those weapons once the, you know, people are dead? The children. Anyway. So that's what's going, you know, things are going on in the Ukraine. You know, is that, you know, just what they call a head fake, you know, which is what, you know, the title of this is. You know, Syria, Ukraine, China, you know, with the China Sea and all. We're supposedly down there, you know, taunting China in this international waters. That's going on there. So where do we look? All I know is, if we have to, we look at everything. But in any case, we don't have, I'm not going to get into that, how spread out that we could possibly be like Obama was trying to do, sending our troops everywhere and just spreading them out so thin that there just seemed like there was no protection here in our own country. You know what I mean? So this one I was told to report. It may have other consequences as well. Explosions rock Canada's largest oil refinery as energy company confirms major incident. Yeah, so I was told to go get this one because this could mean, you know, higher gas prices. Nope. Like they really needed a reason for that. So in any case, plumes of smoke and explosion have been seen coming from Canada's largest oil refinery, as the owners of the Irvin oil site confirmed that a major incident is underway at their energy plant in New Brunswick. Residents near the crude oil processing plant have reported hearing a loud explosion coming from the 780-acre site. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses have taken to social media to post images of black smoke rising from the area inside the refinery. Irvin Oil has confirmed that they are responding to a major incident at the St. John, New Brunswick facility. It's not yet clear what caused the incident. Well, folks, we've had incidents like this in the past couple of years, especially at the time when China tried to, back everything with gold. And at a few ports, I mean, U.S. ships were not allowed to go unless they paid in gold. And then a couple things happened. There were a couple chemical plants over there in China that kind of blew up, and we heard stories about that, about blue rays coming from the sky and making this big explosion. I mean, you must have seen that. I think I have it copied somewhere. It was one of the biggest explosions I've ever seen in my life, man. And these people who were taking the picture were quite a ways away, and it just seemed like the more it exploded, the bigger it exploded, and it seemed like it was going to come right at you. It was ferocious. So I didn't play this, but it's just smoke. So let's just hope that this is, in any case, I mean, how much can they really get more from us? They already tax us so much, that we should have been at war with them a long time ago. I mean, we all know, what happened with the Tea Party at Boston. Taxation without representation. I mean, now they got black projects and all kinds of other stuff to pay for their underground bunkers and tunnels and cities. And they've been doing it since, well, I'd say since the 70s, but you'll probably go back a few years before that as well. Right after the Second World War, I believe. But in any case, that is happening as well, and we'll keep you updated with that if we can. In the meantime, from the Daily Mail, we're going back to 1918. A pandemic worse than the Spanish flu may be coming as more people become obese and antibiotic resistant, study warns. And it's not that we're becoming antibiotic resistant. It's just that antibiotics have been found to not help much because of these different strains that are coming out, mutating strains, and I wonder why. We all should find out and go find out what's happening in Africa with all the stuff that's going on there. I mean, they must be probably one of the biggest countries in the world that has these pandemics of different types, Ebola, flu, a lot of things, and follow where they are. I wish I could do that, and people would just send these things out. Everyone's got a phone. Why are we not using it the proper way? Take pictures, take videos. Come on, man. You don't have to be up and running around and be energetic to do that. You can just press a button and sit there. So anyway, they're blaming it on obese people, but what does that have to do with anything? That they seem to be at a greater risk of severe complications but remain contagious longer. So, Spanish flu. That's all we need. Well, the Bible says, pestilence and hunger and all these things, we'll see them. See them big time. So, this was pretty funny in a way, This is from IntelliHub. The United Nations is going bankrupt. And they don't say it with a question. They said the United Nations is going bankrupt. The UN chief warns. If if we're 20 plus 200 trillion in debt, and everyone else is in debt, I keep saying this, and now the UN is in debt. I mean, look at all the fines that they levied on Volkswagen, I think it was. Mr. T over there at Shepherd said we had spoke about that when I did the news there. That 2 years ago, at least, probably 2 years ago, and big, huge fines in the billions. You know, I mean, how much does the United Nations need to run? I mean, that's how they get their money. They go around bullying and fining, and you know, on what their standard is, I guess. So I don't know. It's just more corruption. It just makes more room for more corruption to get more money, to corrupt more power. All right, so we'll get to the last part of this news and we'll talk about what is going on in the skies over California. Okay, I'm going to play it up to about 1:52, right about to where that point is. Okay, but this is from a plaintruth.info. California skies light up. Strange object, but according to him, it's not a rocket.
Hey folks, and welcome to a short video from A Plain Truth. There's some strange things going on in the skies. We're up here in Northern California. We're seeing these same events happening here. Allegedly, it's an Elon Musk SpaceX rocket launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara. But no, it's not, as you'll see in the video clip that follows this. This is up in Northern California in Santa Rosa, and you're seeing these lights, spotlights in the sky, and these dots, and then they're emitting. There's two lights, and they're emitting things out of them, as you'll see in the video. But here, let me show you what the...
Sorry about that.
And you're seeing these lights, spotlights in the sky, and these dots, and then they're emitting. There's two lights, and they're emitting things out of them, as you'll see in the video. But here, let me show you what the propaganda is saying. A reusable Falcon 9 lands successfully in first West Coast launch. Now, why didn't we hear about this before? Why didn't they announce it? All of a sudden, Saturday, Musk is treating to residents of Southern and Central California. There's a sonic boom warning. It won't be subtle. He pulled off the West Coast launch they're setting this up for, carrying an Argentinian satellite, blasted off of Vandenberg Air Force Base at 7:20 p.m., right at dusk, right at night, and landed on a concrete pad at the base 15 minutes later. So it said it was going up to launch, carrying an Argentinian satellite. So I would assume they dropped it off. They went up for 15 minutes and dropped off an Argentinian satellite and came back and landed on the same pad. But they...
All I have to say to this one, people, is that go to SpaceX. Go to SpaceX and watch the videos from, you know, you can watch videos from the very beginning and watch these rockets take off and, you know, eject the satellite. It's not like the shuttle anymore, where you take the arm and you open the top of the shuttlecraft and the arm goes in there and you pull it out. You know, it doesn't do that. These satellites, some of them are smaller, can go on these rockets and just be... I saw the way they put it together. I saw them eject each stage, and one stage was actually ejecting that satellite. So you're going to get these lights. You're going to see these lights, especially if they're already heated up, which they are quite a bit. Yes, anything could be happening here. I mean, remember Project Bluebeam. I mean, you're going to see stuff being kind of painted in the sky, especially at night. You know, with light, with false light. You know, look at the ones in China where they made that city. City was actually appeared twice at least in the clouds. I mean, that's what Project Bluebeam is. You know, focusing and experimenting with light against the backdrop. That's the sky, the night sky, even the day sky. I mean, some people said that's why they're even putting these aluminum stuff into the chem spraying, is to kind of energize and help with this Project Bluebeam. I mean, we all should be aware that there is a great deception coming. And a lot of people, I think that well, it's just my opinion, obviously, but I think that Great Deception will be aliens coming to Earth to help us. They'll have a cure for cancers. They'll have other cures. And they'll be projected onto, you know, whatever, like holograms. I mean, they even got, according to World Watchman, some guy who's out on tour in a concert, and I think he's either not around anymore or something like that, but they have him performing in concerts around the world. This is what, and we all know what these things are, you know, the holograms, the protons, the light, you know, all that stuff that can be played with. And so maybe it was just the rocket.
Made a tour around Northern California on top of it. Are you kidding me? I mean, these pictures are not even close to what.
I mean, look, this could have been a stage that was let go through this rocket procession to, you know, wherever, high altitude, wherever they're letting them go. They got to release the firing stage, one stage, and then they got to release maybe a satellite or another stage. And remember that these rockets that are reusable, I've even seen them come down. They have videos over there at SpaceX that you can watch these things come back to Earth and land on top of platforms in the ocean on ships. And you know, World Watchman's telling me, well, how do you know they did that? I mean, how can they land? How come they're not burning up the cement and the asphalt and digging ditches or yeah, underneath them with all that blasting that's coming out from the rocket? Well, I told them to go watch these SpaceX re-entry reusable rockets. Okay, this is a light show. Why they do it at night? Because maybe they wanted to. They could have done it during the day. I mean, what does it matter? Does it have to mean that they're doing it at night just so that they could show us something? I mean, does it have to be that? No, we're dealing with conspiracy.
It's being a rocket. But don't take my word for it. Look at the video here that somebody just took down in L.A. They're playing games to folks, but something's happening. We're right at the 1-year anniversary of the fires. Everybody in California, please, heads up and on a swivel. Something's going on up there.
Yeah, so, and then we get to this one, you know, this one's crazy too, you know, but he specifically in this one tells you that it's something else, and maybe it could be. You know, I think that this alien deception, okay, this alien deception that's coming, that I think's coming, will be the fallen angels. They can transform.
So,
Satan did, right? Go read Jasher 6 or chapter 10, and you'll read about the story of Abraham and Isaac when they walked the road that they normally walked. When Abraham was going to sacrifice his child, his firstborn, Isaac, as the Lord requested, along the way, Satan showed up numerous times, at least 2 or 3 times, once to Abraham, once to Isaac, and then once to both of them. And he made himself, Satan did, a roaring brook that went across the road. So Abraham and Isaac just walked into the brook because they normally walk in that direction and knew that this river did not, or this brook was not here before. Satan actually was able to transform himself into this Babylon or this roaring brook. Yes, he can. They are spirit beings. Yes, somewhere between becoming spirit and matter. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But the Bible says that that's what he did. Actually, it was Jasher, which is mentioned in the Bible. Whatever, we won't talk about that right now. But let's watch.
this was shot today. It's supposedly one of these Elon Musk tech rockets. But as you can see, this is technology from the fall.
From the rocket.
this is demon tech at its
But
best.
it's demon tech. Could be demon
If you watch carefully, you'll see the demonic entities that come through this technology, that this tech comes from, and you know,
And
this
you may be
is
right.
You know, reverse engineered.
Remember that the fallen angels came to 200 when they finally decided to mate with women and make God very angry. They decided to give their heavenly knowledge, or what part of it they had, because they didn't have all of it, to man. How to make, weapons, how to beautify or color the eyes of women to make them more beautiful, and they also taught them how to abort babies so that they would keep on looking youthful. And that was the only reason they used that reason to abort babies, was to keep being beautiful. And so anyways, yes, we were taught much, and I'm sure that we are taught even more. Look at CERN, what's going on with CERN. They don't even know what they're doing, okay? They're trying to, someone said the other day, reverse engineer some technology, or they're trying to put together this technology. You remember Contact with Jodie Foster, where supposedly she was given, information through beeps and so on and so forth, coming from Polaris or some star system, and they come to find out that it was actually schematics to build a time machine. You get the point. So let's watch the rest of this.
Whether it be gifts for their satanic worship, as you can see, there's a cross there, and they will invert that.
There's a cross.
But yeah, I don't know if this is gifts for them worshiping and doing what they do, or if this is just them finding stuff and reverse engineering it. But this is absolutely
I can see a skull right here, eyes, nose, mouth.
At its evilest.
Skull. I mean, you could tell somebody, you see something
their
in
agenda
here,
and what they're doing to us,
and they'll see it.
It's a sick game.
5.
But you can see here, this
Star
is
of David.
This is some serious stuff, people.
Okay.
The 5-point star in the middle there. People just don't understand that how bad it is out there right now. They're not paying attention. They don't see the entities and everything like some of us do.
This is kind of like
As
a
you can
calm
see,
trail.
these
Coming
creatures
up,
are coming out. with
going here,
everything.
probably even
And,
injecting
you'll see
a
here
stage.
as it shifts and moves along. You'll get some inverted crosses.
another stage that was dropped off.
There's another cross
Or-
there you see. You could tell that's an inverted one. It's actually longer
Or-
on the top than it is on the bottom.
Take what this guy's saying.
And these,
It's some
these
portal
creatures,
that opened,
this is what
and
they
they're just
drive
giving you a
for.
light show.
This is what they do. They are
Look at this man's head,
running the elite,
nose, mouth,
And,
eyes.
and they got them mesmerized with this tech, and all this tech is it's just a portal to hell. That's all it is. So you
Portal
can
to
call
hell.
them aliens, you can call them whatever you want, but these are the fallen.
Lion's face.
There's different kinds.
Nose,
Some look
mouth,
like animals, some
eyes,
look like demons,
hair.
some look like a mix between animals and demons, some look partially human with the goat faces, some have horns,
Oh, maybe it
some
is.
have the lion face.
These
There's the lion face or the wolf
fallen.
face right there. With
I'm
that
sure
half
they've come
demonic
around. I'm sure they have a
side.
lot to do with the
It's got the
UFO
darkened eye. I mean, come on, people.
legend.
Start really looking at this stuff. This was broadcast by several channels today, and not one of them showed what this really is. Do you see this? Come on. These things are everywhere in here.
This is a rocket.
Look at the so cool.
To the upper atmosphere.
Rocket that is not a mother.
This is the
that
other
is not a
stage.
rocket. Okay, people.
Okay.
This
People are looking for answers,
or
and they're
gifted
going to
technology
find made-up answers
for their agenda. You
made
see
up
the
by
inverted
themselves
cross there.
in
Come on.
these things. And what's
It's right
that?
in front of you, broadcast for the world to see.
Even if it is the fallen, which we all should be looking for and continue to look for,
Right.
the answers to everything.
People don't start
That's
paying attention to this
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
They're gonna be
With
shocked
that, everyone,
when it really
I've had enough
shows up
of this
real soon here,
made up,
because it's in everything.
whatever,
And unless you start
propaganda stuff.
and open,
You have a mind. You're a free thinker. You can think for yourself. That's basically all. That's it. That's all I got to say for it tonight, man. Just keep your loved ones close. Keep your family close. Watch what's going on in the skies. The Lord said He would give us those signs in the heavens. Maybe these are the signs that He's given as well. And He will give us other signs in the earth as well. Okay? All these disasters, these storms, the earthquakes, the volcanoes. I mean, has there ever been a time such as this? Not that I know of. Not that anyone in our short recorded history knows of. Maybe this has all happened before. Maybe King Solomon was right. There's nothing new under the sun. The Bible also says that there will be a time such as no other time before it or after it. And I'm going to believe that this is the time. It's time for us to think right. Everyone, God bless you. Monday is almost over, and we'll go on to Tuesday, Lord willing. So God bless you all, and peace out, everyone.